Good evening, friends. Welcome back to my reflection. Today, my reflection is focused on learning outcome. So, this is also for teachers to understand when they are going to teach what is the meaning of a learning outcome. In today's learning pattern, we have a competency based learning. Competency based learning focuses more on demonstration of learning achievements. Earlier, we understand that students are learning something and they go home, and we don't know what is happening to the student. But in today's learning is not simply learning, it is competency based learning. So in this competency based learning, focus is given on demonstration of learning outcomes. Therefore, learning outcome is also very, very important. What is this learning outcome? So learning outcomes are the statements of expected learning of the students. You teach a lesson and you make the student to understand what you are teaching, but the student will have to demonstrate, or student will have to grasp what you are teaching, and from the understanding and from the knowledge that the student has gained from your teaching, the student will have to demonstrate some important things. So the learning outcome is connected with something as a result of learning coming out. That means the consequences of learning. So when I teach something, I must make sure that student will have to learn something or learn what I teach, and the student will have to perform later or should demonstrate the effect of learning. That is how I understand knowledge has a form. Okay. So it is not simply we give some knowledge and knowledge is simply theoretical. Knowledge is not simply theoretical. It is also has a form. That means it has to take a form. It has to take kind of a actual realization. So when I speak about actual realization, it means to say that knowledge has a form which has to be seen externally. So that is why I said knowledge is more on learning outcome. So outcome, after having learned something, there should be some outcome. That is what we are expecting. Every teacher has to expect that one. So the learning outcome can be in the form of experiential and active learning, because they promote critical thinking and also creativity. It also creates effective study methods. So if you are focusing on learning aspect, learning outcome aspect, you have to make sure in your mind that there should be critical thinking, creativity. Also there should be what is called effective study methods and effective study skills growing up among students. That is what is expected of teaching and learning. Okay, teaching and learning has got some features. How do you measure out this learning outcome? One thing is that your teaching should be observable. Okay. Second, it should be measurable. Third, it should empower something great in the students. What is that? Mastery of the language. So three things should be there with the teaching and learning aspect. First one is, can you tell me, is observable. That means learning should be observable. Somebody should see that oh, this student has learned something and it is observed around there. If you teach the student something you have to expect the student to do certain things, and that is observable. That means you are seeing something. So, after teaching a lesson, you can observe the student. So, whether the learning has taken place or not, you will be able to see from the observation. Sorry. The second one is measurable, which means to say you can use some tools to measure the students' learning. So, there are so many tools to check the learning. Assessment is there, pen and paper test is there, surprise test is there, board test is there. Number of tools you can adapt in order to make sure that the measurement of learning, how much the student has learned. And thirdly, you can say the student should be empowered. So, empower mastery. That means empowerment. You make the student empower. Okay. The student can manage himself or herself under certain conditions, in certain situations. So, that is called measuring the learning part of the student. And thirdly, empowering the mastery of the student. If these things are taking place, you will be able to understand that learning outcome has come. So, one of the best ways to describe and find out the learning outcome is to observe the student's behavior, student's movement, student's action, student's paper, student's copy, student's creativity, that curiosity. So, from all this, you will understand that the student has learned. So, that is actually the observe. Who will observe this one? Teachers and others will observe the students' learning capacity. Measuring can be done individually, in group. In many ways, you can measure the learning degree of the students. So, teachers can adapt this kind of simple methods in order to make sure that learning outcome is specified here. Okay, prescribed learning outcomes are also there, and learning outcomes general also is there. So, you need to focus on prescribed learning outcomes. Competency based learning has also another focus. What is that? 21st century skills. What are these 21st century skills? When we think about it, 21st century skills, which is also the main focus of NEP, you have to remember that 21st century skills for learning, they are critical thinking, creativity, communication, and collaboration. These are the 4 important things coming under learning skills. That is called the 21st century learning skills. Then the other one is 21st century literary skills. That is actually information, media, and technology. So, if these 3 things are focused, you will get to know that the student has achieved the literary skill. Then we have also the third one is 21st century skill is life skills. Very often we have mentioned about life skills. Skills that are connected with life, that is focusing on living in the society. What are they? Life skills. Flexibility. One is flexibility, which means you are flexible. You can move up and down. You are able to adjust with any situations. You are very flexible. Second one is leadership quality. You are a leader. Leadership quality will be built up in you, and it is required for the 21st century life skills. Because if you are a leader and if you have a leadership quality, certainly you will be always called for taking the initiative for some actions. The third one is initiative. Another life skill is initiative, which means you are easily taking the initial part. Okay, I am not secluded. I will include myself for every activity. I am not exclusive. I am inclusive. I will include myself in every activity. That initiative part, you are going forward to take up anything on your way. Again, you have got the productivity. Another life skill is productivity. Uh, Productivity doesn't simply mean pragmatism, which means if you are useful, you are good. It's not like that. Productivity here refers to that uh, whatever you are learning should be productive later. Otherwise, what is the purpose of our learning? We need to be productive. We need to produce something out there, and that is the result of learning outcome also, and competency based learning. Then the last one is self awareness. So one has to be self aware of oneself. Who am I? What am I in the society? What are the things that I can do in the society? Awareness of the self. Okay, I am a citizen and I am a person, and how much I can do for the society and how I can build up the society. Like this, the student will have to think creatively. So, these are the 21st century skills which we are focusing on NEP. I hope my listeners are able to understand what I am trying to say. What I am trying to say is focused mainly on communication and also learning outcome. So, if you want your student to um, demonstrate some outcomes of your teaching and their learning, you have to also measure that one, observable. So, learning has that particular quality of observation. So, knowledge is observable. You have to remember that. One of my favorite thinking and reflection is if I teach some students something good in the class, I want to see that student practicing it outside the classroom. That is observable. Who will observe? Others will observe. Teacher, first and foremost, and you can make an anecdotal record of the students' main point, the life point where he or she has done something good, and make sure that parents are also knowing about it. And then second one is you know uh, it is also measurable. You have to measure their learning through different tests on and off. If you make tests, certainly they will come up with a good mastery over their learning. So, my dear viewers, if you have any suggestions and if you want to know more about it, kindly give me good comments. In the comments, you can request or you can make sure that that you are promoting such a type of learning outcome to, matters to your teachers and those who are interested in finding very simply what is the meaning of a learning outcome. So, my friends, thank you for watching and listening to me. I wish you all the best. See you tomorrow in the same time. Thank you.